In examining past research, you will first have to understand what you are measuring. This means what are your independent variables and your dependent variables. Once you understand that, then you can relate it to the three hypotheses that you are developing. Your three hypotheses should be testable. So that means if you cannot point out what are your independent and your dependent variables, it's probably not testable. Lastly, you should make sure you refer to the rubric because it acts as your guideline in the whole project.
Okay, things to consider when developing your research hypothesis. First, you want to make sure that your hypotheses are testable, that you can expand upon past research, and that you can be able to replicate past research as an option. And also, you want to make sure that nothing is set in stone. Like, you want to have like a base idea that you can expand on, but you also want to be flexible in your research.
Okay, so I feel like one of the most important things for the first developing this project is to make sure that you're interested in what you're talking about and it's something that you've always had a question of why. So like, why does people, I studied LSD and the effects of it on mental health and personality traits. So I wanted to know when people make claims about what they use and how it affects them, why do people say this and is it truly true? So to really make sure you focus on, am I interested in this? And also if I'm studying something post-grad, how will this help me in the future? So if you want to be a psychopharmacologist and you're studying the effects of drugs on the mind, this is something that you can utilize for future research and for your future career. And that would be all. Okay, so I think another important thing to assess is that your students are going to be Xavier students. So you have to ensure that they can do this study. So you can't really do experimental studies, but you can do observational, you can use videos, you can do pictures, you can do surveys. Another thing that's important is that you do only have 3 months of your semester to have this, so make sure that you're planning ahead. So as soon as you figure out the why, what you're trying to study, look up those articles 30 minutes a day and have those articles, do the whole thing, read the whole thing, take your notes, and make sure you're planning ahead, because then once it gets time to start conducting your studies, you'll be good, you'll be set, and you won't have any, just in case something happens, because things do happen within your semester. So just make sure you're planning ahead and you're utilizing and knowing that your students are Xavier students and that's who you're studying.